You can probably hear the dishwasher in the background, I'm sorry. It's 5 to 1, so good afternoon. Woody has taken Sagan for a walk. I've had a gentle morning, responding to comments, washing my hair, pacing, which we like. Storm, can't remember if it's Dennis or Dara, but there's a storm raging, like a red warning. Don't tell me that's the power going out. These lights are still okay. High winds, lots of rain, sea surges, threat to life, storm blowing outside the windows. So, not that I did have any plans for today really, but I mean, looks like we're staying in. I'm supposed to have a friend coming over. I might have to rearrange that, just because there's bound to be some sort of tree down. I'm feeling okay. One of the things about weekends and having Woody here is it reminds me that most people do like not get dressed until noon on the weekdays. Like if they don't have kids, obviously. But you know, it's perfectly normal for most people at the weekend to prioritize resting and doing maybe a few gentle chores and sitting on the sofa and doom scrolling or watching YouTube or whatever. That is when most people are resting. So I always feel a lot better about it. I don't know. So I don't know if I'm going to get any of my Christmas card crafting done, my printmaking. I think I've decided on a design. Somebody mentioned about the floor tiles in the kitchen, and wouldn't that make a nice sort of farewell knitting pattern? And then I thought, actually, why don't I make that one of my prints? That would be quite an interesting print. It looks like a block print anyway. So I might give one of those a go. Thought that would make a nice lino print. And anything else. Thanks for all the compliments on my wreaths. It's really gurgling now. So I'll make a cup of tea, might have a biscuit, and do some knitting, I think. I need my fringe cutting already.
Me too.
No, thank you. You can shave the rest of my head.
Yeah? With the cutthroat?
No, nothing scares me. It's been a real non-day today. We've literally just sheltered from the storm. Well, Woody went out in it with Sagan. Was it very windy?
It wasn't nice. It's cold, really. Cold and wet.
So, I'm under my electric blanket. I've got today's video exporting, but I don't think I've really got anything for today, so we might be doing a little combined day. I have done a little bit on my knitting. I'm working on half at a time, so it's difficult for you to see. But yeah, the split neck thing. I'm almost there. So, with one half, so that's nice. Got this much wool left. We had a bit of a hair raising moment where I thought I lost my SD card, but we found it. And yeah.
Black hole of the sofa.
Yeah. Probably gonna sit here and rot for the rest of the evening too. I'm really sleepy. Sagan's been a bit spooked by the storm, so he's not really settling. Or he wasn't settling, at least last night, so. Yeah. So we're all a bit sleepy today as a result, but that's okay. Shall we do a video where I cut my own fringe? Good idea?
Put the bowl on your head.
Yeah. It's almost dinner time, so. And as it's Sunday, we light another candle. Oh, they're back. Are we going to get?
Wrong way.
You forgot. You didn't know where I am.
Wrong way.
Hello.
He's just bringing you a cat.
Oh, hello. Hello, mister. Hello.
Are you a tough dog? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your filming.
It's okay. Hello. So it is Sunday, the 8th of December, so it's the second Sunday of Advent. I've had a very gentle morning, doing some chores and resting because I've not been on top form in that regard. But Woody's just returned from taking Sagan for a walk and going to get ingredients for dinner.
Some veg.
Some veg, because it's Sunday, we're going to have a roast. Of all things, we're going to have roast pheasant. Now, I do not agree with pheasant hunting. I do not agree with hunting of any kind. But we do live in an area with lots of pheasant shooting. And Sagan is a gun dog, and he is trained to, or we're trying to train him at least. It's in he's bred to retrieve birds, flush out birds, all that sort of stuff. And he does need that sort of stimulation to be a happy, healthy, fulfilled dog.
Yeah.
And so you took him beating.
Yeah.
And he brought us a pheasant. Lovely.
He was gifted a pheasant.
He was gifted a pheasant. So
Nice effort.
quite often these shoots, in case you don't know, pheasants are bred in captivity. They're not native to this country. They're native to Asia. They're bred in captivity. They are brought to this country. They are raised in this country, and they're released on the day of the shoot. Now, any that don't get shot then live in the countryside and become a menace to drivers everywhere. But the ones that are shot on these shoots, traditionally, they were shot for meat because it was an exotic delicacy. Nowadays, nobody wants them. So, you know, or...
Yeah, they don't sell well at butchers.
They don't sell well at butchers, so if they shoot... So, like, if you've got 3 people on your shoot and you've killed 30 birds, they don't want 10 each because they'll be eating pheasant for the rest of the year, you know. So, quite often on these shoots, they're desperate to give them away at the end of it. And so, yeah, they gave us one for whiny chops over there.
So when we're having pheasant?
But the thing with pheasant is, when you get a bird from a shoot, you get a whole bird. Feathers, beak, everything. And it is pretty grisly preparing them. So I do understand why people don't necessarily want them. But we've talked about it a lot, haven't we? Because we've both been vegetarians in our lifetime. I now eat meat for my health because no matter what the vegans say,
it doesn't work for everyone.
It doesn't work for everyone. It certainly doesn't work for me. And oh, Sagan, come on. Thank you. But yeah, I feel better when I eat meat, so I am going to eat meat, and that is my cross to bear, you know. But for us, I think Woody would agree with me, it seems hypocritical to eat a chicken or a turkey that was raised in captivity, specifically for the purpose to be killed and eaten, and not eat a pheasant, which has gone through almost exactly the same life cycle. It's just the pheasant...
They're not battery farmed.
Well, yeah, they're not battery farmed, for one. They
are largely free range.
Yeah, but they're free range for about 30 seconds before they get shot at, aren't they?
No, they're released about a month before.
Oh, they're released about a month before. I thought they were released on the day.
Yeah, so they live undercover from when they're chicks for about 8 months, and then they're released.
Then they're released. Yeah. So, I don't know. For us, there's a hypocrisy, or it feels hypocritical to not eat pheasant, even if I disagree with the practice of hunting or shooting.
There's a classism as well, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. I think that's part of it for me as well, is that shooting is very elitist because it costs so much money. And it's almost a flex, isn't it? Because sometimes the more birds you shoot, the more it costs you. So to go into a hobby knowing that depending on how good you are that day, the better you are, the more it's going to cost you. Do you know what I mean? Can you imagine if at the tennis club you had to pay extra of you for every ace you scored? So anyway, we're having pheasant. I won't show you the bit where but I hope I might have convinced you to consider eating pheasant if you ever see it.
And support a local butcher.
Oh yeah, and support a local butcher, yeah. Because it is delicious. It's a bit like duck is how I would describe it. Tastes a bit like duck.
Not quite as rich, I don't think.
Yeah, milder.
Yeah.
Somewhere between turkey and duck. What was that? Was that the dishwasher? Hey? Hey?
Another thing is it can also contribute to the spread of bird flu.
Oh yeah, that's another issue I have. Because they import these birds. They're imported as chicks, aren't they, or as eggs?
They're chicks. They normally come from France.
Yeah, they normally come from France. So if you've got people, unscrupulous people, should we say, who aren't filling in the paperwork or whatever.
I'm not properly testing.
Yeah. But we think you're going to get the offal,
It's not that bad.
You know,
you're opening up a whole can of worms with this subject.
I am. Can you imagine if this is the video that goes viral because the vegans find it?
You get cancelled.
I get cancelled for eating pheasant. Hello, I'm just editing this section and I've just realised that I never explicitly said that the reason why I am able to overcome my objections to hunting and shooting, of which I have many, to eat pheasant, is because otherwise it would go to waste. So I would rather it didn't happen at all for a lot of the reasons that we discuss in this clip. But if it is going to happen, I would rather people actually ate it than it go to waste. Now, there are some things we need to clear up, or I would like to clarify. So,
I was grossly offended.
About the mugs, the Emma Bridgewater mugs that I said were a very generous gift from Woody at £25 a piece. He has reassured me that he did not pay that much and he got them from Next in a sale. So apparently
I did buy a couple, it was a pheasant one as well. The pheasant one I picked up on eBay because that was a rare print.
Oh, okay, so some of them are were limited run or whatever.
Or end of run.
And he got them second hand. We love a thrift king.
It's hardly thrifting, seeing as I paid more than they were probably.
I know. Second hand though, we like that. Second hand. So yes, that he has reassured me he did not spend £25 a mug just so I could have a cup of tea.
But I did get carried away and had to have a set.
Yes.
For the tree.
Yeah. He couldn't cope with a half complete mug tree. So he had to buy 6. Anyway, so that's that cleared up. I'm very sorry that I accused you of being irresponsible with money.
And put it on the internet.
And put it on the internet for everyone to see.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's a good thing I'm anonymous.
Yeah. I wish to issue a formal correction. Let it be known he didn't pay full price. I stand by the fact that if you were to pay full price, you are wasting your money.
But they're nice mugs.
Yeah. Not at £25 each, they're not.
Buy the mugs for the life you hope to lead, not the ones you do.
Yeah, they're aspirational mugs. The second thing is, several people have commented now to ask if they can send me something, if I have a PO box, or if they can send me something for Christmas or whatever. And I'm afraid the answer is no. I don't accept gifts. And that is largely because I just don't have the space. Really, I don't think, particularly like, people are incredibly generous. I've had people offer to send me their entire grandmother's vintage knitting sewing pattern collection. I just don't have the space. And so it's not personal. I say no to everyone as a rule. There's also several other complications in that because of where I live, I can't have a local PO box, so I would then have to pay for a PO box and a forwarding service, and so it just gets prohibitively expensive for me. And so as generous as it is for people to offer to send me things, I'm then also going to be out of pocket to just get it to me. Also because I can't drive very far and I barely leave the house, I'm then having to get somebody else to go. I would then, if I were able to get a closer PO box, which I don't know, one might become available, I would probably have to drive to a city, and I just can't do that, so I'm having to delegate that to somebody else. It's a whole thing. So it's really lovely of people to want to send me things. I really do appreciate it. So I'm not saying no because I don't want them. I'm saying no because it's just going to be a logistical headache for everybody involved, and I don't want you to end up getting things returned to sender as well, particularly if it's been international, just because I haven't been able to physically go to a PO box and collect them up. I will also say I've had some incredibly generous Ko-fi donations in the past couple of weeks, to the point where I'm sort of like, is this a mistake? It's just been mind-boggling, so thank you for that. I do really appreciate it. And there's never any obligation to do anything for this channel. Of course there isn't. You know, I don't even ask you to like and subscribe or comment because that feels icky to me. Do whatever you like, you know, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. So if you're here watching, that's enough. Thank you. Thank you very much. And if you are in a position where you are willing to and able to send me money, I mean, just saying it, I'll never ask for it and I'll never expect it. But thank you. Thank you so much. The only reason I have a Ko-fi is because so many people pestered me into setting one up. If it were up to me, I don't think I'd have had one. But it does make making these videos so much easier, so much better quality. And it means that the things that I want to try that I wouldn't be able to for financial access reasons, whether that's knitting, spinning, sewing, like the Ko-fi donations I received bought my sewing machine, for example. You know, that is how you contribute to this channel. So, oh, thank you very much. Oh, here's a banana. Why am I so bad at this? I mean, I am also really bad at driving, so.
Yeah. You don't have to drive as a
I came 9.
turtle, do you, normally?
Excuse Sagan chewing a chew in the background, but the pheasant is still defrosting, and of course he's going absolutely mental about the fact that there's a pheasant in the house. Anyway, I've been working on my knitting project. So I've divided for the back neck opening like this, and I've gotten to the point now where I've done enough rows and I'm up to the shoulder shaping instructions. Now, this time there definitely is a typo in the pattern, because it says shape shoulder by casting off 5 stitches at beginning of the next 5 rows starting from armhole edge. But of course, if I were to cast off at the beginning of the next 5 rows, I would cast off 5 stitches here, 5 stitches here, 5 stitches here, 5 stitches here, 5 stitches here. So I would have a little shaping to the neckline. And I don't think that's what they want me to do, because I've looked ahead in the pattern and they are asking me to leave 14 stitches on a holder and then come back to those and knit those as the collar, including a garter stitch border, which I've already done for the placket here. So I'm presuming they're expecting those 14 stitches to be on this end so that they line up. And also, why would you have like a high neck jumper like that where there's a weird gap in the back and it doesn't overlap? It doesn't make any sense. So they must mean cast off 5 stitches at the beginning of every row at the armhole edge, or at the beginning of the next every other row 5 times, sort of thing. Does that make sense? But what's more, I've compared. Hello.
The person to ask has arrived.
Let me see if I can show you. I have here this jumper that I've knitted from a vintage pattern from Subversive Pen, actually, as well, now I think about it. But of course they're not from the same original designer. But you can see how short this armhole is. So if I'm matching them up under the armhole, there. Hang on, it moved. Even if I've done some maths now. 5 rows would only be another 1.5 cm-ish. And 10 rows, which is what I think they mean, would be another 3.5 cm-ish. Bit more like 3.8 or something. Whoop. Are you making a little nest for yourself there, Sagan? But it's quite short, and that armhole, as a result, is going to be really tight in the armpit. So I don't know whether I want to add length here or not, or whether I'm going by the same principle as the length of the body in that it's going to grow. I think what I'm going to do is trust my instinct and shape from the outside edge and cast off 5 stitches over 10 rows, because that's the only thing that really makes any sense to me. We'll just have to hope for the best really, but also I'm a bit nervous comparing this green jumper to this autumny coloured one. It is a lot smaller in every direction, and I do really like the way that this autumny one fits. I think I'm just going to have to plough on and see at this point, aren't I? Because I've done as much as I can to try and mitigate any fit issues by swatching and constantly measuring and blocking and things like that. So it's just a lot of work, isn't it, for it to not fit. Not at all weird. Smells delicious. And I forgot to say, I've finished the back of my jumper.
It's a great bit of footage there.
Here we go. So I mean, it looks like I would expect the back of a jumper to look. It's just, that's the outside. Facing you is the outside. So don't let the stitches fall off the needle holders. Oh my god, look! Oh no!
That's not what I was humming.
Oh, why?
One of your needles has come off. The way you handed it to me.
It's my own fault. Hang on. Hold it.
I've got it.
Oh, I see. It's completely come off.
Yeah.
Oh, and of course it's the one with the more stitches on. That is supposed to go there.
Oh.
And then that
is
like only just coming up under the armpit. And the waist, the ribbing is there, and it needs to be more.
It is curled in though.
Down there.
Quite a lot, and it expands when it gets wet, doesn't it?
What I might have to do is I might have to block this bit before I carry on. Oh, I know.
Oh, Poppy!
It's not gonna fit. It's not gonna fit.
Oh, pay attention.
Woody.
Don't say your real name.
Oh, yeah.
Have you got it? Have you got
yeah,
it?
I've got it.
See? Pheasant. You wouldn't know, would you?
It's just a little bit darker.
Just a little bit darker. And Woody thinks he might have overdone it a bit.
Yeah, trusty Google.
I mean, it tastes great. Tastes just like turkey, really.
It was fresh. I hadn't let it to.
Yeah.
So some people say you should leave it for like a couple of weeks before you eat it.
Yeah, and then that's when that the gamey flavour develops. But if you eat it fresh, you don't get that. So. Oh, look at my candles. Ignore the junk. But Christmas, pretty.